Recognize the member from Saskatchewan Rivers.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I will continue to push for action on the crime epidemic we are seeing in our province. The single greatest jump in violent crime recorded in the province was in 2019, 1 year after the Premier took office. The violent crime rate has risen every year since. Under this Premier, violent crime has risen 35% in Saskatchewan. In the rural areas surrounding Prince Albert from 2018 to 2021, violent crime increased by 200%. Last year in Prince Albert, the overall crime and violent crime rate was the highest ever recorded. A study by the University of Waterloo found last year Saskatoon had the second highest violent crime rate out of Canada's 40 largest cities. Mr. Speaker, where is the law and order? This certainly isn't protecting the people of Saskatchewan. What is the government doing to address the crime epidemic that has gripped this province?
Recognize the member from Saskatchewan Rivers.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Our health care services are in shambles. Our crime rate is out of control, the tax burden is crushing, and yet this government's only answer is to always brag about the millions they are spending. Mr. Speaker, a noted Conservative politician once said, "Some people confuse cost with value." If you listen to Trudeau and the NDP, they brag about the cost of their programs. My program has more billions than your program. There is no other field that judges its success by how expensive it can be. Imagine if a restaurant said, "Come and dine with us. Don't worry about the terrible service, the ugly ambience, or the bad food, but we'll charge you $500. It's the most expensive show in town, therefore it must be the best." That would be how a restaurant would advertise if it was using Liberal NDP logic. Mr. Speaker, that sounds awfully familiar. Can the Liberal government opposite?
Recognize the member from Saskatchewan Rivers.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. It seems this government has forgotten about the growth that works for everyone, as it was surprisingly missing from the throne speech. They are now all about building and protecting. Building what, Mr. Speaker? Our rural communities have not been built up. They've been hollowed out and in decline for years while this government did nothing. They have done the least for the hard-working rural people that built this province. The only thing that has grown for everyone, Mr. Speaker, is crime, the cost of living, and the tax burden. Could this government not find any of that growth that they keep talking about? Maybe they misplaced it. Perhaps the finance minister can find it amongst her strings-attached deals with Ottawa that she's so fond of. I ask the Premier, is it growth that works for everyone, or is it built and protect, or will it be a new slogan next week?